Expanding the psychological unit without losing it into the social cultural unit. And of course, behavior analysis has been about that for a long time, but developing organizational measures of psychological flexibility or measures like we're trying to do now with Ostrom's design principles of cooperation, things of that kind, attitude change. I mean, so many things that are like immigration, climate change, war, these things have to be addressed at a high level.
Right, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So
I think
I'm
we have
actually thinking about, I mean, the evolutionary ideas you're talking about. Is that giving you, can that give us ideas of where you can find these processes of change? Is that what you mean?
Yes, I think it can, and already has. And it also gives us a way of interconnecting with other levels of analysis.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody has a trauma history, and we want to come at it. Let's say we're kind of an active clinician. We want to come at it that way, and we're evidence-based. We know exposure needs to be part about it and so forth. Yeah, but it really is worthwhile to understand the evolution of the nervous system, how it works, and what happens neurobiologically, not just in the brain, but in your whole body when you've been exposed to, for example, early traumas. So I was on a case conference yesterday with the interns at Brown University, where I did my internship 46 years ago. And we had a case and we were walking through it, and the person has a trauma history, strong sexual trauma history, and is freezing up at home with her husband and having a hard time, even taking his perspective, or she feels overwhelmed and vulnerable, and she shuts down. Well, there's part of our nervous system goes all the way back to reptilian shutdown. If you've got a lizard on the sidewalk today and you run up to the lizard, you have a pretty good chance, if they don't scurry and run, of them freezing completely in place. They can shut down their body to the point that their whole system just starts shutting down, right? That's in your human physiology. That's how evolution works. Now we have another kind, we have the run or fight kind, but some of that physiology of running and fighting actually innervates our facial muscles. For example, we smile under threat. Why would we do that? Because maybe being a friend to the strange primate that just came into the troop might keep you from dying. Yeah. And so you want to say, see, I'm not a threat. See, I'll smile. Yeah? And you wonder, people say inappropriate affect, talked about this painful, and she smiled. Yeah, some of that's
no response. Yeah.
That's way down, even below her consciousness, maybe. And you need to understand that evolutionarily, how the nervous system evolved, how, primates. So my point being, as we mature as a contextual behavioral science, we want to put, without reductionism or expansionism, want to put the conversation in place that allows us to do our clinical work informed by what biophysiology of the human says, or what the sociocultural background of that particular individual says, without reductionism or expansionism, but in a way that allows the complex network called a human being to be appreciated at multiple levels of analysis and in multiple dimensions, idiographically spread across time, taken to nomothetic generalizations, but only if they help us reach the individual. That has been the journey of behavior analysis,
Yes, yes.
this wing of psychology from the beginning.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just that now we have the tools, I think, and maybe the data, I think, to finally make some of these things real in a way that alters the clinical outcomes of people who come to us for help, but not just clinical, the people who have physical disease and are facing aging and all the rest, but not just that, people who want to win gold medals at the Olympics or have great relationships, or not just that, they have a business that they want to be massively successful. And you look at where ACT and psychological flexibility has gone, and you say, it can go everywhere. As I say, everywhere the human mind goes. But now let's bring along all of our colleagues. Let's bring along the epigenetic folks and the brains research, the neuro folks and the geneticists and the diversity, equity, inclusion people. And
Without being reductive, of course. Yeah.